horse-drawn cab, a rule which has never been changed.
There are equally strange rules in other countries. For example, in Switzerland, you may not wash your car on a Sunday.
If you're happy about washing yourself, it's best not to live in Pennsylvania, in America. There, they have a rule against singing in the bathroom.
And if you aren't able to read the rules, don't try to get married in Finland. People who can't read must stay single.
Of course, these are old rules and regulations, which no one bothers to enforce anymore, but they show how rules influence every aspect of our lives.
Almost whatever we do, almost wherever we are, there are rules telling us what to do and what not to do.
Keep off the grass.
Stop at the red light.
No smoking.
No trespassing.
Switch off mobile phones.
Safety helmets must be worn.
Offside.
We accept such rules because they make sense. They are there for a reason. Without them, everything from a game of football to international trade would be almost impossible.
Because rules apply to countries, to whole populations, as well as individuals. There are rules of war, for example, written into the Geneva Convention.
And the United Nations has established rules of conduct relating to freedom. Freedom of speech, freedom from cruelty, freedom from false imprisonment.
But in many cases, we may have to fight to win freedom. Rules are sometimes based on prejudice, on preserving power, on treating people unequally.
And at the start of the 21st century, some of those rules can seem as strange as not being able to sing in the bath.
Like the rules which denied freedom and equality to half the population in some of the world's most developed countries, women.
Which 150 years ago prevented them from becoming teachers and doctors.
Which little more than 100 years ago prevented married women from owning any property.
Which supported the male belief that a woman's place is in the home.
Which only about 80 years ago in both Britain and the United States even prevented women from voting. In Britain, it was Emmeline Pankhurst who, together with her daughter Christabel, led the fight to change the rule, which meant that women had no say in who should govern them.
With their Votes for Women banners held high, the suffragettes, as they were called, marched on Parliament, chained themselves to railings, smashed windows, and attacked politicians.
And this, don't forget, was at the beginning of the 20th century, when women were supposed to be the weaker sex.
Too weak and too weak-minded to vote, but strong enough to be thrown into prison for demanding their rights.
Emmeline Pankhurst later wrote that this was the beginning of a campaign, the like of which was never known in England, or for that matter, in any other country.
"1914 saw the start of a bigger campaign, though, and faced with the horrors of the First World War, Emmeline Pankhurst persuaded the suffragettes to stop demonstrating and support the government in every way.
When the war ended, much had changed. The world was a different place. Many rules were relaxed. And in Britain, as well as other countries, there were new freedoms for all.
In America, women were given the right to vote in 1920, and 8 years later, in 1928, the same was true for all women in Britain.
But 1928 was also the year when Emmeline Pankhurst died.
Against the background of the suffragettes, and the men before them who also had to fight for their democratic rights, maybe there's another rule.
The rule which says that when we get what we want, we often don't want it.
Today in Britain, where everyone over the age of 18 has the vote, something like 40% of people just don't bother to use it.
But that's freedom.
happiness. We want it, we search for it, we dream of finding it. And when we don't find it, we feel we're missing something. But no one knows quite what it is.
Because, of course, happiness is different for different people, and it comes in many forms. We can be happy in a crowded city centre.
Or we can be happy walking alone in the countryside. We can be happy listening to music.